What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Struggle. Nadeska, Akademiks, and Wayno here. So Wayno and I were at ComplexCon Chicago this weekend working super hard. Akademiks clearly missed us.
Yo.
He has so much energy this morning.
Took a sick day.
No, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was so happy to see y'all today. I just had to make sure I was alive. I just make sure I was good.
Yo, Wayno and I are good in this
I said, Wayno, you straight? They ain't text me once. I see Wayno kicking it with Vic Mensa. I'm like,
Oh, shit.
what? I see Nadeska. I didn't even know if Nadeska was there or not. Are you good? Are you both good?
Listen, all right, so what I want.
This was more scary than going to Area 51.
No. Let's dispel this myth of like Chicago being this place that as soon as you step off the plane, gunshots is flying over your head.
It's only for Akademiks. The rest of us are cool.
Chicago's a very beautiful city, very dope people. I went to like a block party. And I'm not being funny, I hadn't seen so many black people in one space without it being an altercation in my life. Like it was so many people, every block you turned, it was like the VIP area in the club where you couldn't walk, but it was just like a block party. They was enjoying like food and drinks and cigars and motherfucking music.
Yo, Wayno had the best ComplexCon ever.
He
went shopping,
fun.
He was out in the club with Pusha and Freddie Gibbs.
What?
He was out with Vic Mensa. Yo, Wayno was living his best life.
Celebritying it up. Hey, one thing I'll say, and by the way, I'm not offended by Wayno kicking with Vic Mensa because to be honest, one thing I give credit to Wayno, and I'm glad that, you know, I'll go to Chicago at some point, but community outreach and really getting in there other than, hey, we have some booths and we're popping up. That's one thing. You're just trying to get some sales. Going into the communities and try to make some change and touching the actual people. I respect it. I'm glad Wayno did that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was for the Save Money, Save Life.
Complex Community Week.
Yeah, night out against gun violence. You know, me and Vic Mensa was not having conversations about academics.
Don't defend yourself. It doesn't matter. You can have friends.
And besides my little tit for tat with him, I'm gonna call it that. Like, I've always given him credit, like he does care about his community. Like I've seen him do things, the thing that I still applaud him to this day for what he did with the bait card thing. So again, doing things like that, of course, like I don't feel no type of way about that. I'm glad that Wayno obviously is putting himself into the community because one thing, again, one of the reasons why we even got Wayno on here, Wayno, he cares about his community. He did some shit with Harlem.
Hold on, where are we?
Wait, let him finish. He picking me up right now. This doesn't always happen.
These are the reasons why we got him out here.
No,
I'm sorry, what?
Moderate. That's why we switch the subject. Get out of here.
What the fuck?
But thank you, man. It was dope to be in the community, you know what I mean, to touch the people. That shit was really dope.
Yeah, we do have an Akademiks clone today. Shit is wild.
Oh, can he address his future stuff?
Oh!
Yes. Let him get this off his
You
chest
and
real
Vic
quick.
are gonna reconcile? Is that what we're addressing, or?
No.
Oh, no?
We got to talk about his new music.
All right,
but we'll get to that. I do want to say, though, it's very rare that I come back here with a change of opinion. I'm very
Stop it. You change your mind?
Hey, listen, I don't believe in all those little zodiac signs, but I am a Taurus. That's facts. I'm a Taurus.
Stubborn?
And I think that's stubborn, right?
Yeah, stubborn.
I will admit, and I'm coming back here to say, you know what? After tremendous tremendous outpour of people saying, we love you, but you're wrong. Future, Dirty Sprite 2 is indeed a classic. I've looked at it from a different perspective. And I went back and I said, you know what? If I could sit here and I've called Chief Keef Finally Rich a classic, based on its impact, how it influenced other people, the moment, and I was really kind of downplaying the moment because of other things, because he did a joint album with Drake before and he gave us 3 great projects. So I was like, who cares that it's called an album? But I'm here to say, you guys are right.
Heck is growing up.
Future,
Thank you.
Dirty Sprite 2, that shit's a classic.
You had me feeling crazy
week.
for asking that question last week.
We're starting off the week, Wayno and Akademiks.
All right.
I'm in the
Shit.
league.
No, that's the audience. They checked me on that. Wait, you was talking that bullshit still, bro. Like they came with some different angles, and I looked at it and I said, yeah, right.
It's a classic album.
All right, shout out to the audience. A lot of them said hello, by the way. Some people that we ran into Chicago who wanted to see you out there.
Oh, we're gonna be there soon. Yo, y'all gave her. Nah.
Anyway, Ak, we missed you too. It's good to be back in our little studio here. Let's get into some news. So, update on ASAP Rocky. So, a Swedish judge has sided with prosecutors and ordered that Rocky stays in jail until at least July 25th. They think that he is a flight risk, but Kim and Kanye have stepped in. So, according to TMZ, Kim hit up Trump's brother-in-law Jared Kushner, who then spoke to Trump about Rocky, and the president apparently thinks he's being treated unfairly. On Saturday, he tweeted, "Just had a very good call with the Swedish Prime Prime Minister, who assured me that American citizen A$AP Rocky will be treated fairly. Likewise, I assured him that A$AP was not a flight risk and offered to personally vouch for his bail or an alternative. And then later, he said that some negotiations were going to happen. So that same day, he addressed this at the White House, saying that he's going to apparently work with the State Department to help get Rocky out. Take a look.
A$AP Rocky is a situation in Sweden. Sweden's a great country. They're friends of mine, the leadership, and we are going to be calling. We'll be talking to them. We've already started. And many members of the African-American community have called me, friends of mine, and said, could you help? So I personally don't know A$AP Rocky, but I can tell you that he has tremendous support from the African-American community in this country. And when I say African-American, I think I can really say from everybody in this country, because we're all one.
Wow.
Oh, man, we want Rocky to get out, but who are these African-Americans he's talking about? You think it's just Kanye?
It's always
The African-American community. Anyway, it's good that he's trying to get involved, but some mixed messages here. So according to the New York Daily News, Sweden's prime minister said in a statement that Trump cannot actually interfere in Rocky's legal process. Quote, they said the prime minister made sure to point out that the Swedish judicial system, prosecutors, and courts are completely independent. So we don't know if he's actually going to be able to help, but it's good that he's getting involved, that Kim and Kanye want him to help. G-Eazy also spoke about this over the weekend. He said he was arrested there back in 2018, and he thinks there's definitely some racism at play here. He says, this is the sad truth. The difference between me and Rocky's treatment in Sweden brings to mind two concepts that disgustingly go hand in hand, white privilege and systematic racism.
Okay.
All right, I think those are all of my updates right now.
I don't give two fucks what the Sweden prime minister says. When the most powerful man in the world, despite what we domestically here think of him, like makes a call and personally vouches and is lobbying and we're talking about negotiations, I'm pretty sure it's gonna move some needles, and I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some incentives to make sure, again, while he can't just say free him and he's out, I'm pretty sure those additional eyes of an entire U.S. government or the guy who leads it, essentially, will make this process go a little bit different, especially since we've been under the thought that, hey, we don't think he's being treated fairly.
Right.
So now it might be a little bit different. I will say, you know, I got to give a lot of credit to
Kim and Kanye?
Kim and Kanye. And again, it's crazy how, you know, of course, we know the Carters, they're super powerful, and even outside of music and, you know, just their influence, they take on a lot of social issues. But Kim and Kanye, I like what they're doing. To have the ear of the president, whether it's just this particular president, but anybody who's sitting in that seat, is very important. I'm hoping this is a good thing for A$AP Rocky, because right now it doesn't look right. And G-Eazy made a great point.
Yeah.
G-Eazy made a great point. He got locked up. He got released in a day, like in a day.
What was he locked up for?
It was kind of like it was an altercation or something like that. But like he was released and just really fined.
Right.
But A$AP Rocky, they're raiding his manager. Manager's like a hotel.
Trying to get in his phone and everything.
They want to see his phone. They're investigating A$AP Rocky as if he was being under investigation for like molesting a minor, as they were saying about the potential victims. So if y'all are saying the victims are under investigation for possibly assaulting or molesting like some kid or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, fine, they got in an altercation with some other guys and y'all are investigating the other guys more?
Right.
Kind of raises the red flag. Again, it's troubling to me, but I'm not gonna lie, whatever you think about Trump, and of course, he has his ways of, when you hear him talk, you're like, you know what you're trying to say. When he says, my African-American friends, and you gotta clarify, when I say African-American, you know what I mean? Whatever, but I'm glad we have someone who could have the ear of that person.
The thing about this, I feel like it's a catch-22 for Rocky, and the reason why I say that is because like Rocky, who is not a person who talks about politics at all, and we all know that he has a certain type of stance on political views because he lives in Soho and all of that stuff. If he does get out because of this, I just feel like Trump is going to flip that shit just as fast as he did that. If Rocky don't come out and do a press conference and say, I'd like to thank Donald Trump and his and his what do they call like their faction under them?
Like the Republican Party, you mean, or
the regime?
The regime.
Yeah.
Ooh.
If he doesn't think administration, right? If he doesn't think Trump and the Trump administration, then he's gonna face backlash of him saying, "You ungrateful son of a bitch." Like, you know how he gets.
And then if he does say that, then he's going to do it with more. We also had a fan question about this, which is an interesting point. So someone wanted to know, do you think Trump is pulling the biggest clout chase move ever by getting involved, or do you think it's genuine because he thinks it's unfair treatment? Do you think he thinks this is just going to help him look good with his African-American community?
Okay.
Like he's trying to win a vote?
So two things. And sorry to cut it if you weren't done.
Yeah.
But you are right. In terms of he did the same thing before with LiAngelo Ball,
right?
And he got involved somewhat, or at least made public statements.
He said something crazy about it.
Yeah. Do I think it's a clout chasing move? Politics is clout chasing,
right?
And it's not really clout chasing; it's vote chasing.
That's just our culture using that word, but you know what we mean.
Of course, like he's basically trying to plant those seeds to say, hey.
This would be good for
the
your
African American.
Right.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure, like when he got briefed on the situation, African Americans, they love ASAP Rocky.
He put the dollar sign in ASAP. He put the dollar sign in the ASAP tweet. He's definitely expecting you to come home if you get out to say, "Yo, man, Donald Trump, shout out to them." Then think Kanye in them. And we know how this goes with Trump. If it doesn't go his way, he's gonna say all types of shit about call him ungrateful and. All types of other stuff. So it's like I'm kind of conflicted with it as well. Of course, I would like ASAP to be home because it's such a petty situation or a petty charge, but it's going to be a lot to come with that shit.
I really want to hear ASAP's thoughts when he comes out, just overall on the process. But, like sometimes allowing people to experience certain shit enlightens them. I do think, I see people on Twitter who are quote unquote dragging him because of comments he made about Ferguson a couple years back. I do think his comments then were very insensitive and really ignorant, right? Again, he lives in Soho and he made comments basically saying, don't really ask me about shit like that. I'm not no political leader. I want to talk about some other shit that concerns me personally rather than what concerns people who look like me. This situation, I think, I agree with some people who say he's being treated like that because of how he looks. Now that he's gone through it, I would like to hear how he views that, whether he would admit or basically say, oh yeah, I went through that based on my own actions, or to say there was some unfair treatment there. That's what, when we had Kevin Gates here, I was trying to kind of like get that question at him because he had, I would say similar comments, but his comments were like, hey, anytime I ran to the cops, anytime, whatever that interaction was, it was because I was messing up or I did something.
Yeah.
But after you go through certain things and you see certain things, that might change your opinion. I want to hear what ASAP says about it.
Yeah, I want to see too. Because Rocky was a person also that spent time on Rikers Island before. So, in the parallel of how he understands mistreatment,
right,
either way. But yeah, I definitely want to see what he thinks. If he's able to get out, because they treating him like you would have thought he shot somebody or something the way this is going.
And two more things. Like, by the way, everybody, if you've never seen racism, you think you don't exist until it hits you in the face. I remember even Wayne said one time he never experienced blatant racism, and then it was a couple months or maybe a year later, he tweeted out that something was racist. I think it was someone with the basketball, like NBA or something like that. Which again, you claim you never experienced it till you experience it. Other than that, just seeing everything with how ASAP, his case is going, I'm hoping that for whatever, however it turns out, you don't have to become a political activist because you're involved in something that's super political or social. I'm hoping that he could still be him. It
can affect his music now, right? Because before he felt like he didn't even need to put stuff like that in his music. But like you said, going through it could change things. But look, so a lot of people have said they're going to boycott Sweden, a lot of entertainers, but it's not everybody. Some people like Davies feels like it's basically his fault, that he shouldn't have put hands on anyone since it wasn't in New York, saying that they would definitely still go out there and get money. So let's see.
Yeah.
We can't stay fucking cohesive on anything. So by the way, the ban of Sweden is already a little silly, but to be honest, even when niggas are saying, yo, let's not wear Gucci, you dangle a $500,000 check in front of 85% of the rappers, they're gone.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Rocky's situation though is you can clearly see him trying to avoid the situation. There's a thing when instinct kicks in and self-preservation kicks in. Like even for a kid that gets bullied, eventually they gonna swing back. You know what I'm saying? And he did everything in his power from what we saw in the video for him to avoid the situation. Now, once he got tired of it, he acted out. Was it the best decision he could have made? No, but I don't think that everybody should look at him as he just made the wrong decision. He know he's not, back home. Yeah, but if you're in any type of situation and motherfuckers pick at you, you have to defend yourself at some point. Yeah. Now, when you defend yourself, you just have to be able to stand up for your consequences. That's the biggest thing. If he's standing up for his consequences, I mean, he has no choice. Yeah. But I don't think that it should be looked at like he just was out there attacking people. That's not the case at all.
And I've said this before, and last thing to add, we said this with the Meek situation, but I hate when governments or courts feel that they have to go hard to prove to the media or the public. And I feel like either the Swedish government or their police force or investigators, because they're trying to show that, we have a legit reason to have him locked up for that long, that's why we're seeing these raids. And that never ends well because that's the Meek situation. We now have to go hard to show that Meek is doing some shit to keep him on probation. So now we're doing the most, where in most of the cases that wouldn't even be thought about. So
So you have to hope his involvement does not make this worse then, because they're trying to double down.
Yeah, because you see the statement that said, hey, listen, with all due respect to the President of the United States, I will not interfere with what's going on here. They're acting like it's still a super big deal. Yeah. You get me? It's not like they're saying, hey, listen, this seems like it might be, no, not at all.
Yeah, they try to throw some shit.
They said July 25th, so that's 3 days away, so hopefully we have a positive update from Rocky soon. All right, let's move on to some music. Wayno's been waiting for this project. Nas has dropped The Lost Tapes 2, 16 tracks, so this is the sequel to his 2002 compilation, of course. So it features cuts from his recording sessions that he did not previously release from Hip Hop Is Dead, Untitled, Life Is Good, and Nasir. And apparently he has a lot more. I think Lost Tapes 3 and 4 are also on the way. So we talked about one song last week. How you guys feel about the entire project?
Come on, Akademiks. Nah, I'll go first. I listened to it, and like I said, because I know how critical Nas is of himself, I'm not really a big fan of the shit that he didn't want people to hear initially when he was putting out bodies of work. But there's a few highlights on here. There's definitely a few highlights on here. Wait, go down a little bit. Cause there's a song in there I really love. Oh, You Mean the World to Me. You Mean the World to Me, and I really fuck with Queensbridge Politics. That's the joint where he was addressing him and Prodigy's issues and how Prodigy's his mural had got defamed or whatever, and he was just saying they never got to kind of have closure on their differences that they had. I messed with that one, and I messed with I think it was Highly Favored. But overall, it's Nas, but it just...
So in general, do we not like the concept of releasing the songs that didn't make your albums to begin with?
I don't.
Period, for any artist.
Yeah, I don't. Nas is... Well, let me finish real quick. Nas, he's done it, before with the previous Lost Tapes. But for me, I just like to hear Nas put out exactly what he wanted to put out. So it's going back and picking shit here and there, excuse me, picking stuff here and there that could have been something at that time, especially putting it out in 2019. It sounds dated. Certain songs sound completely dated, but I'm also not receiving this as a new Nas project completely. You know what I mean? But overall, it's cool. For me, it's cool.
Yeah, for me, I thought it was okay, and okay because it didn't. Again, you had some brilliant thoughts about how you received the first Lost Tapes last time, and I was thinking about this, and I was like, it doesn't feel like a Nas project for me, right? It literally feels like a collection of songs that you're traveling through time. One moment you're hearing, you could kind of tell this kind of feel like he was probably recording these other songs.
Right.
And again, they are bad songs, to be honest, but of course it won't be a cohesive effort, but it feels kind of all over the place, and you're just kind of finding a joint that is cool. There's no standouts on this for me, honestly.
Okay.
And again, I've been more used to Nas recently. I don't know if he's done this his whole career, but it's more themed particular projects. and these just felt like a collection of like cool joints. They're cool, but like, again, I'm okay off it.
You've been really into cohesive projects as of late, Akademiks. A subtle evolution, huh?
We're gonna call something a project. Let's do a project. Again, no, I'm not knocking him for that because it's called Lost Tapes. Like it's not like, yo, I just made this and completely. But what I'm saying is that all these songs, they're like
cool. All right, so then I guess this is, you're already talking about this, but a fan question was, just because we appreciate you guys submitting these. Does a Lost Tapes project full of deep cuts hurt the discography of Nas, being that it's not up to par with some of his albums? A lot of people automatically consider a new album from him. So it's kind of like, what you were saying earlier. You don't consider it.
I don't consider it an album. It's just like, the thing about it is like when you hear like these older records, and then it's like, okay, some of them is like, all right, I see why he didn't put it on there, right? Like, I see why he didn't put it on there. Then when his last album, like the Nasir album, it wasn't, to me, it ranks at the bottom of his discography with the Nasir album. So if we ranking, like for me, when I rank his last album at the bottom of his discography, and then I get the older songs, and I'm not gonna lie, it's certain songs that was on there, I'm like, damn, like, he could have had an album with like this direction on there. Then it kind of makes me, as a Nas fan, be a little bit selfish as to how I receive it. Because I'm like, damn, if he would have kept this type of direction when he just dropped that last album, maybe we wouldn't be ranking that last album in the last tier of it. But that whole Good Music 7-song thing, it seemed like a cool idea, but I don't think it really ages well other than Tiana's album and maybe Push's album.
Okay.
That's it.
Makes sense.
For me, absolutely not. It doesn't make me look at Nas' discography any differently. I look at like these Lost Tapes as, you know, Wayne has dropped official studio albums, he's dropped mixtapes, but he's had a bunch of loosies.
Absolutely.
And it's just songs that have either leaked or they just kind of come out of one-offs. Not meant to be singles, but it's just meant to be ingested. And when Nas has a Lost Tapes, he doesn't just drop songs randomly. I'm not mad with you curating the songs that didn't make projects and putting it out. And to be honest, I look at even like Wayne, and I wish there was Lost Tapes for Wayne, even though honestly, like people were like literally binging on Wayne so much that we wanted it at that moment. But shit,
my fault. Wasn't No Ceilings like kind of like a Lost Tapes? It's like No Ceilings and then I'm Not a Human Being is like kind of like a different.
But No Ceilings had great songs on it. As far as I remember, that was great.
So my understanding of like I'm Not a Human Being, whatever, I think it was songs that maybe were like one or two songs that he may have made during like around the time when you were probably expecting them. But then it was such a different direction that he just made a whole new project off of it.
And so he was going over other people's beats though, completely. Aren't these original?
You know, these are original, right? But
for No Ceilings.
Oh yeah, No Ceilings. He did use a few.
He was going over everyone else's beats.
He did use a few freestyles on there.
That was a great mixtape. Okay.
But
So this is cool.
That's cool.
All right. Real quick before we get into this, this should have been a big facts or BS segment coming up. But XXL Freshman Freestyles, we talked about them last week. Sorry, y'all, it's Monday. I just cannot speak today. So we got two more. We have Roddy Ricch and Lil Mosey. So Blueface and Tierra Whack did not do their freestyles. Did either of these two new ones stand out to you guys?
Roddy Ricch. I love Roddy Ricch. Fortunately, I didn't see Lil Mosey's yet. But Roddy Ricch did stand out to me a lot. But he kind of went back to where Designer, you know, did the Timmy Turner thing, you know what I mean, with the snap. But it was dope. Like, it was dope. I'm upset that Tierra didn't do one because I expected her to.
Wait, is it confirmed that she didn't do one at all? Or
a lot of people said that. Yeah, no, a lot of people, when people seen it on the show that I said I think she's gonna have the best one, a lot of people were saying like, yo, she already confirmed that she's not doing
Well, now
one.
we look kind of stupid because we were getting at him about the Gunna freestyle. Cool, if you're gonna admit you were wrong about Future, we can say we're wrong too.
Okay, and I think, you know, that's what we're kind of getting at, and that's what I was trying to say. Hey, listen, I see Tierra Whack on Instagram, and by the way, like
she does it all the time.
Yeah, she does it all the time. Right. Like shit, right? The last one she uploaded would have been like fucking the most amazing one here. But I do believe that the reason why these artists are a little hesitant on it, whether it's for most people, I'll be like talent, right? But Tierra Whack, clearly that's not the case. I feel it's just a format. I feel like because it's not that flexible to what they would want to do, where they could be a little bit more creative with it. They're like, yo, I'm not gonna do it and get played. Not that I think that's the case with Tierra Whack at all, but you have to realize this is the year it might be monkey see, monkey do. Yo, he ain't do one. Oh, I ain't gonna do one. Now the other person's like, all right, I'm cool then.
Yeah.
You right? Honestly, I think most of them probably came prepared.
Yeah.
But if you realize other people aren't doing it, why would you do it? So again, I do think this is a dope segment that XXL does for their picks. We could mix it up a little bit, like mix it up, open that format a little bit.
All right. Let's see if they keep on coming or if they end up changing it, like you said.
This is so funny, though.
All right, so last Thursday, Blueface got on Instagram Live and said he was the best lyricist in the game. Take a look.
Hey, cuz, that's on my mom and my sis. I'm the best lyricist in the motherfucking game, bro. I might not have the best flow, sound, I don't know what the fuck y'all be listening to when y'all be listening to this other bullshit, but when it comes to wordplay, cuz, come on, bro.
Okay, I really want to know what Akademiks thinks about this. And the reason why is because top of the year, when Blueface was his #1 pick in the draft, right? He was saying that he
Wait, you trying to act like my nigga's a bust right now? Like, is he not?
Oh, we not. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
If Blueface feels that he's the best lyricist in the game, I want to see proof. And from
But wait, he gave us some proof.
What was the proof?
These lyrics here that I shall not rap. Maybe Akademiks can do it for us.
You say I'm at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel blowing zips. This a non-smoking room, but can't no hoe tell me shit. Get it? Hotel? No? Wayno slow with it. So good. Cause bitch, I'm the shit.
Wayno?
Hey, hold on. Like, you want to hear it? I'm gonna be honest with you, and wait, don't look on Wayno's facial expression. Get off of that. On some real shit, I don't think he's the best lyricist in the game. I do think he's underrated. Bro, he has wordplay. His flow is trash. And I think he understands that. Like, he admitted that. He said, hey, I'm writing some shit where you could get like a dope metaphor or like he's trying to do wordplay.
But how can you say that your flow is trash, but you're also the best lyricist in the game?
No. Because one doesn't have to necessarily do with the other, right? Like when you're talking about, I would say an MC. Like, you could be a lyricist. I'm just only judging your lyrics.
Okay.
I'm only judging your lyrics. Okay? An MC, now I'm judging how you deliver those lyrics as well. Y'all laughing.
No, honestly, sorry. They just did the ultra zoom in on his face.
I do have songs as proof.
Go ahead.
It's the second verse, and I think I even had, I should have printed it out.
You don't even know what he's saying. Look at this,
Yo,
right?
stop
I'm gonna tell you, wait. I let you say enough. Look, you know what I don't like about shit like this? Because when a person who's a wordsmith and a lyricist says some shit like this, then everybody's mad at them for saying it, right?
Ooh.
If I'm hypothetically speaking, if Benny the Butcher got up and said, yo, I'm the best lyricist in the game, nobody could fuck with me, it's not even making no news. It's not even making no news. The reason why this is making news is because people don't take him seriously as a rapper. Now, the reason why people don't take him seriously as a rapper is because when you think about his raps are not that good. He can make a song. I'd be a fucking liar if I'd say that Blueface didn't make a song that I liked. I like 2 songs. The Bleed It, I like Bleed It. And I like, of course, Tatiana, like if you out having fun, cool. But as far as lyricism and all that, come on, he's tweaking. He's tweaking. And you don't. Come on, B.
Nah, bro,
and Wack is my nigga, but he's tweaking, bro. Like you come on.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you.
What?
On some just wordplay shit, that's all he tries for.
How are you isolating one thing though and
that's
saying
what he said. No.
But I'm pretty sure
so he
Lil
can
Pump
say
can
he's
make
good
a
at that,
clever
but then he
line, too.
can't say I'm the best lyricist.
why
Doesn't make sense.
No.
Didn't Lil Pump say the same shit?
Wait, hold on. But Pump is
so.
completely trolling.
How's he completely? So he's not completely trolling?
Hell no.
Okay.
Blueface has good wordplay.
All right, so
he's just not on beat, and I will never defend his flow. He won't. He admitted it, but he says he believes he's the best.
Flow is part of being a lyricist, man. That's part. All of that falls under being an MC.
He says he believes he's the best lyricist based on he feels he has really good wordplay. I agree that his wordplay is above average.
Okay, but do you agree with his actual statement?
His wordplay is above average?
I do.
Wait a second. You think that Blueface wordplay is above average?
100%.
You're wildin'. He said, I'm at the hotel, can't no hotel me.
Okay.
And that's above average?
That was a basic one that he...
Nah, bruh.
Stop capping the second verse.
Nah, bruh.
I'm not gonna lie with you.
Bruh.
I don't even like the song, but you could tell the way how he writes lyrics, because I think that's one of the things that got people to like fuck with him. He goes out of his ways to write these little wordplay, like little like oxymoron.
So how many of his songs would you say have standout wordplay to you?
No, honestly.
Serious question.
No, truth be told, most of his
average?
flow
What's
is
the
just
average?
not good.
All right, so what's the average? Like I gotta know, like,
what's the average?
Is it a person that scores 5 points or a person that scores 10? Like, what average are we putting him in?
I don't know.
Above average? Above average Akademiks?
Yes, above average.
Blueface, wordplay is above average.
Okay. What do you consider average? Give me an artist or
artist that is,
because we
I could just name. I can name a lot of artists that
just name anybody, and I'll tell you where I feel they are.
I just can't say anybody because we're talking about rapping, right? We're talking about rapping.
And you're talking about wordplay specifically.
If we're talking about this nigga,
not anything else.
If we're talking about this nigga making songs, and we
good.
talking about him making records that hit like to his fan base, that's a whole different conversation. I can't take that shit away from him because the nigga got the top record this year. We talking about rapping, like real. This the nigga that didn't do a freestyle. Now Tierra Whack. Wait a second.
What's the people that didn't?
Look, Tierra Whack, in her defense, she does freestyles for free all the time and puts them shits up. He didn't do a freestyle. He's one of the best lyricists
By the way, I think he did a freestyle with Ella Leakers, and they said that was a really memorable freestyle. But listen, I'm not defending his rapping skills.
You are.
I mean, in a roundabout way, I am.
Right.
But really, I'm just saying, hey, you don't have to agree he's good. But if you can't at least agree that at least the majority, I want to say 80 to 90% of his verses, he's attempting to try to do
to have a good metaphor too. That's cool to have a
play on words. A lot of it is a play on words.
See, I just can't view his music like that because when we talk about wordplay and shit.
To be honest,
right.
You said what the average is? Yeah, bro, I'm judging everybody. The average isn't that high. He's above average.
If we talk, see, that's what I'm saying. Above average compared to whom? Because if we open,
we're gonna have to make a pool for tomorrow because I feel like off the top we can't come up with it. But this turned into more serious of a debate than I anticipated.
I didn't think it was that ridiculous.
All right, Roger, we're making a pool, but based strictly on wordplay, it seems.
Y'all throw a rapper in there. Y'all throw any rapper's name, and I can compare it.
All right, tomorrow.
Tyler, the Creator.
Tyler, the Creator.
Is above average.
Wait, just wordplay?
But it's not fair right now because he's talking about just wordplay.
Now,
so he's gonna try to drill you on that one.
Somebody said, Fabulous and Lloyd. Yo, get out my ear, Roger. Get out my ear, bro. No.
All right, okay.
We're not comparing them to that.
All right, fine. We're gonna move on, and tomorrow we're gonna.
Out of all the new rappers, let's just talk about new rappers.
Okay.
His peers. His peers, he's above average.
Who are his peers you're considering?
Look at the XXL Freshman list.
My nigga.
Look at the XXL Freshman list,
bro. You got to stop. I'm just keeping it honest.
So we're gonna.
Wayno, honestly, like, I'm not defending the flow, but wordplay. Number one, he attempts to do more bars with wordplay than the majority of his peers. That's number one.
All right.
Number two, he has some very clever ones. I just want to give him credit for one thing.
Okay, fine. Go ahead. So we do have a fan question about this saying, if not Blueface, what rapper do y'all consider having the best wordplay in the game right now? Look. We are going to come back here tomorrow, or maybe Wednesday, because I think we have a guest tomorrow. We're going to have a pool of rappers just considering wordplay and delete the butt to butt of this conversation.
I'm coming with my Blueface lyrics. We're printing them out, because you know what? Wayno be just looking stupid, making facial expressions, like just looking at me like he's confused. Bruh, I'm going to come with the lyrics, and when I start reading them, I just need you to understand that at least he's giving an attempt.
All right, bring the proof before you start bragging.
The attempt is more than a lot of people even do these days.
Okay, so just to close this conversation for today, Akademiks, we are agreeing that he's not the best lyricist in the game. He just has good wordplay. Yeah?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right, let's move on now. Let's move on. Tyler, the Creator. So he recently did an interview with Beats One. He talked to Zane Lowe about all the controversy that happened with DJ Khaled when Igor went to #1. Let's take a look.
First week, and again, I don't make to beat First Week or beat Radio or whatever, but for this work of art and that album cover and these videos and me doing this suit wig thing, beat, and this is no disrespect to Khaled or anyone, but this nigga had every person in the industry, everyone on that fucking album, everyone, Cardi B, 21 Savage, Travis Scott, Post Malone, Beyonce, J, everyone who sells billions of records, and the fact that I beat him with this that isn't parallel to all the popping music right now was fucking crazy, bro. It
Hey, so Tyler was being all cute and like slick on Instagram and Twitter, but this is the most I've ever heard him talking his shit.
Yeah.
He deserves it. It's a great album.
He's usually very outspoken though.
Yeah, but in like a trolling, funny kind of way, not usually like so direct.
Yeah, I mean, give Tyler his flowers while he's still here, yo. Like, Igor is a very, very good album. It's one of my favorite albums of this year. You know, when we was asking the questions, nobody said
Igor.
Nobody said Igor. That. Yeah, when we was in Chicago. But like, I think that
like words.
Huh?
I like words.
Whatever. You the same person that love Playboy Cardi. Playboy Cardi
coming
is the best
after that
rapper
last conversation. That's all right. Cardi has an album on the way though, right?
Huh?
He makes baby sounds. Playboy Cardi makes baby sounds.
No, Playboy Cardi is ill, but he doesn't say anything either. But
does Cardi have better wordplay than Blueface or not?
Nadeska, let's wait a minute. Stop rudely interrupting. Jesus Christ.
But Igor is a very dope body of work. It's a work of art. It's not a rap. He said, yo, don't put this out. Don't take this as me trying to make some fucking supreme rap album. It's just music. And I think it should be accepted as that. And sonically is one of the best albums. And I said it, people say I was crazy for it. I don't care. When we think about this decade, I think that this album to close out.
Crazy.
There's a lot of people that said that. To close out 2019 sonically is one of the best works of art that come out.
It's in the top 5. That and Revenge of the Dreamers 3. I don't know what the rest of my list is yet. I need some more time.
I agree with him on what he was saying. You know, like, even though it felt like shade at Khaled while he was explaining it, because he was like, damn, nigga, you had everybody who sells the most amount of albums, and I ain't really had shit on my album, and I still outsold you. That's just facts, though. Again, hey, for whatever reason, maybe I don't particularly like it, but people gravitated towards it. They're praising the art. And, you know, it's a good time. It's a good time in music. Whatever I personally think about the album or not, that people are gravitating to what they like in terms of art rather than just names. So for that to be the conversation and for him to look at it like that, I agree with you, Tyler.
I agree with the Tyler, the creator, man. He's on his, fifth or sixth album now. Like, people thought Odd Future would be over the first year.
And they're all killing it.
Yeah.
Well,
somewhat.
Well, oh yeah, a lot of them. Sid is definitely killing it. Yo, she's been putting out amazing music, her and
Sid.
the internet. So a comedian whose name is Dina Hashem, if I'm saying that correctly, was dealing with a lot of criticism after a clip of her Comedy Central appearance surfaced where she was making jokes about XXXTentacion's death. Let's take a look.
Morning, XXXTentacion. He's a rapper who was murdered. He's dead now. He was shot. He was on his way to buy a car with $50,000 in cash, and somebody shot him and took the money, which is very tragic. But I think also it would be a very good Venmo commercial. Yeah.
All right, so they took this all off of the Comedy Central social platforms, and then she did apologize on Instagram. She said, I wasn't trying to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm a comic. I use joke to make dark topics less painful, etc. We've heard this before from comedians, but did she cross the line here?
Of course she crossed the line. She's a fucking imbecile. Like, there's no way to make light of that, a Venmo commercial. So what would the commercial have been? Oh, if he would have just sent the money? Like, he's a young father, you know what I mean? He was a young father. His kid is not even going to get a chance to know him. But I bet you they'll see that clip one day, you know what I'm saying? Like, his mother lost a son. His fans lost, their favorite artist. Like, it's death here. That shit is not a joke. Because when something happens in different culture and black people make a joke or something about it, we're so accountable. Fucking, what's his name? When 21 Savage just said, I'm getting Jewish money with my Jewish homies or something like that, they acted like that was the worst thing possible to say. So she can say something about this young man losing his life tragically. Yeah, he was running around with $50,000 that he worked hard for.
Yeah.
Nobody said nothing about that. Yeah, he was going to buy a new car that he worked hard for, and then we got to make a fucking joke. Like, that's a joke? You know what I mean? Like, that was disgusting. That was disgusting.
Yeah, there wouldn't be too many. Actually, I'm pretty sure there'd be any funny thing if someone was trying to make some type of light or joke about the Holocaust. But of course, it's us niggas, so anything is acceptable. There was a couple things I found wrong with it. And by the way, I got a salute to, there was many comedians. I spoke to many comedians. Salute to Neil Brennan. We spoke via DMs because he wanted some clarification because, as comedians, they want to, and I agree with that too, that they should be allowed to have the liberty to touch on topics that some people can't. And if they could spin in the light, people might see it a different way. Now, there's a saying that says, listen, if it's a funny joke, it's not offensive. This wasn't funny, at least to me. And you know, while talking to Neil Brennan, he brought up this one point. He says, why do you think that joke particular is offensive when in opposition to, or compared to actually, Chris Rock? He notoriously made the famous joke to say, hey, listen, he was like, yo, people are saying assassination, blah, blah. He was like, yo, Biggie and Pac didn't get assassinated.
Them niggas got shot. Yeah.
And he's like, yo, he said, in his opinion, that joke was 10 times worse if we're just worse than this. I felt differently, but I then also, and I told him I felt different, but I said, you know what Chris Rock did was funny. This it had overtones to it. And this is sometimes I think that comedians that aren't black, who don't understand culture, don't get. The way she described him having cash and even being a rapper, it felt like there was a racial overtone to it. And I told him that. And again, you know how people talk about rappers, right? Like on some like ignorant shit. It felt like she was setting that up, and then of course she like bailed it out with the Venmo shit or whatever. Cool. It just felt insensitive, and there was some serious like undertones in certain things that I was like, yo, I'm a little concerned.
Makes sense. Why did that comedian, think that the Chris Rock's joke was more offensive than this one?
Again, this is Neil Brennan. I forgot. I think he worked on Saturday Night Live. I'm sorry if he's watching this, and I don't know exactly everything he's done, but I know he's been to Breakfast Club a bunch of times. And salute to him, because I like constructive conversation like that. But I think for him, he was like, listen, even death
on Chappelle's show.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Even death could be something where comedy's drawn from. And even though I agree with it, and you know, like I admit I might be a little bit biased because I knew this young man. It felt tasteless.
Well, before she got to the punchline, they were laughing. That's the thing. Like before she even got to the punchline, they were laughing. Here's a rapper. He had $50,000 on him, and he got shot. It would be a good Venmo commercial. Then they like before it even got there. The thing about the Tupac and Biggie shit was this, because I remember that. I remember when he said that. It was a lot of people that was saying, like, when you have conversations with people about Tupac to his death, yo, Tupac died, they'd be like, oh no, he was assassinated. You know what I mean? Like, people saying that shit. That was the thing that people say. Nah, he was assassinated. He was not assassinated. He got into an altercation with some crip nigga in Vegas, and he shot him. Same shit with Biggie. It wasn't no political agenda that the government conspired to knock these people off. Our own people from our own communities killed two of the most greatest artists of our time. And another thing is he's a black man talking about black issues. When it's a white person talking about black issues in that context, because I'm not going to say that white people can't talk about black issues, but when you're talking about it in that context and you laughing and joking before you even get to the punchline of it, she was like, all right, this is a serious moment, y'all. Give me a second to say this, then I'm going to say that. They was laughing about the nigga going to buy a car.
She sets it up by saying, anybody in here still mourning XX? Like, it's already a joke. Y'all still mourning him? You get me? It felt tasteless.
Yeah,
I do want to say, and you know, as we're about to wrap up, I hope we get to touch on this, and I think we should probably, maybe next episode after. Glasses Malone dropped, and since we're talking about death in general,
right?
Glasses Malone dropped a song and a video called Tupac Must Die. It's been raising a lot of conversation. And you know, again, I think death is a very tricky thing to address in any type of way, whether you're doing comedy about it, whether you're rapping about it. And by the way, if you guys don't know, it was like Glasses Malone gave the perspectives of Tupac's killer, which is Orlando Anderson.
Orlando, yeah.
So he made a whole song and video saying, this is what Orlando was thinking.
Right.
And you know, like for some people, they're a little offended because they're like, yo,
Tupac
we don't want
to personal.
Yeah, we don't want to know what he was thinking. But he's defending by saying, hey, it's just I'm a kind of poet or writer. I'm giving a voice to someone else. You don't have to agree with it, but that's what it is.
Right.
So as we even talk about this and we're kind of debating where does art cross and like mix with like just being completely offensive, out of line? I think that is like those things are important to think about. But for this one, I think the main fact it wasn't funny leads all these other things to start, that you start thinking about it. It's not funny.
It's not funny. That's just it.
It's not funny.
It's not funny.
And I haven't met one person who said it's funny.
Yeah.
Not one person from this culture.
Right.
Not one person. Because I also said, like, if this joke was flipped and it was about Nipsey, still it don't matter who it was about.
Right.
You get me?
Because it sounds like she probably heard about him for the first time when she just saw a headlining passing somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Hate ending on a bad note, but that's our show for today. We'll be back tomorrow. We might have a special guest. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
Have a good day, y'all.
See you later.
Peace.
Wayno was kicking some knowledge at the end, man. I thought he lost all his brain cells going out of Chicago, man.
Oh, man. Yo, you stupid.